Good morning, I am Renu Sharma, Assistant Professor EC Department. Today I am going to start with the subject that is wireless and mobile communication. Its code is KEC076 and the topic of today's lecture is Introduction to Mobile Communication. So, since it is the first unit, it is related to the introduction of wireless communication, mobile communication. Then, so we have to see what how it is evolution of mobile radio communication we will discuss. Then various mobile radio systems that are present, like paging system is there, cordless system is there, then cellular system and different types of channel which is supported by this wireless mobile communication. So, this is the evolution, this is showing the evolution of the mobile radio communication. So, first before we will start, first I want to tell you that what is mobile radio communication. Now, mobile means both the transmitter and receiver. Since we want to communicate, we want to transfer any information, then information is basically communicated between transmitter and receiver, that I have told you. So, for communication, both the transmitter and receiver are moving in nature. Mobile is not like your handset. Here mobile is not your handset, it signifies or it denotes that both the transmitter and receiver, whether it is a car or whether it is any other device which is moving in nature, and the transmission is done in terms of radio frequency. So, radio frequency is supported. So, that is why its name is mobile radio communication. Now, over the years it has evolved, like in the year 1934, police radio uses this conventional AM mobile communication system. Now, what is conventional AM? AM is basically amplitude modulation. So, when we are talking about communication, the information has to be transmitted over longer distance. For that purpose, to transmit the signal over the longer distance, modulation is required, which will basically going to increase the frequency of the signal, so that it can be transferred or it can travel over a long distance, because in the between transmitter and receiver there may be multipath propagation that can occur, or any attenuation that will going to degrade the quality of the signal. So, to reduce or to overcome these disadvantage, we have to modulate the signal, so that the frequency of the signal will increase, so that it can travel over a longer distance. So, amplitude modulation is one of a kind modulation which is analog modulation, where the amplitude of the carrier signal is changed proportional to the amplitude of the message signal. So, that is conventional AM system. So, previously in the year 1934 this is used. Then in the year 1935 this Edwin Armstrong demonstrated this FM. Now, FM is frequency modulation that has an advantage over AM, that it is less immune to noise, means it is noise immunity is quite high. It is less affected with noise, you can say in another way. So, that is the advantage of FM over AM. Then in the 1946 this first public mobile telephone service, push to talk, that is walkie talkie. Push to talk is also known as walkie talkie, which means that at only one point of time transmitter can transmit the information, and at the second point of time receiver will going to transfer the information. So, it is a simplex kind of or half duplex kind of communication, not a simplex, it is half duplex kind of communication. Only one, either the transmitter or receiver will going to transfer the information at one point of time. Then in the 1960 this improved mobile telephone services, that is IMTS, that is full duplex, that is evolved. Then with the year you can see in the year 1991 this GSM, that is global system for mobile communication, this has evolved, which is a 2G generation, that is second generation type of communication. Example of this, that is global system for mobile GSM, and that is strictly used for mobile communication. The concept, or you can say this model is designed specially for transferring the information from one mobile phone to another mobile phone. Then in the year 1993 this IS-95 for CDMA, that is code division multiple access, this comes into the picture and that has evolved. So, this is showing the evolution over the year of mobile radio communication. Now, next we will discuss what are the different mobile radio systems that are available, already available, and we will going to discuss that how that work in detail with their block diagram. So, the first example of this mobile radio system is cordless phone, which you are using after your landline phone, since landline phone is used for voice signal transmission, and it is a kind of wired connection. The channel is wired in nature, whereas in case of cordless phone it is also wired, but your handset and the receiver is not connected with a cord, it is connected, it is a wireless communication. Then remote controller, your TV remote, your AC remote, all these comes under this mobile radio system, because it does not require any wired connection between the transmitter and receiver. Then walkie talkie is there, pagers are there, cellular telephone, your mobile phone, then wireless LAN. So, these are some of the examples of mobile radio system. So, in this there are three terms which are used, like first one is mobile, any radio terminal that could be moved during the operation. So, that is why I said that what is mobile, which means that the transmitter and receiver are moving in nature, that are not fixed during the communication. Then portable, handheld device and used at the walking speed, that is portable, it is a portable device, and subscriber, mobile or portable user. So, these are some of the examples of mobile radio system. Now, next is the radio system, it is continued. Classification of mobile radio transmission. So, this is classified into three different types, like first one is the simplex one, second is half duplex, third one is the full duplex. Now, what is simplex? Simplex is nothing, it is the unidirectional transmission of information, that is communication is done only in one direction. Then half duplex is there, that is same as the radio channel for both the transmission and reception, that is push to talk, which means that the information will be transmitted in only one direction, it is not transmitted in both the direction. It will be transmitted in both the direction, but at but not at the same point of time, means the time difference is there. And the very good example of this half duplex is walkie talkie or push to talk. Now, third one is the full duplex, that will support simultaneous radio transmission and reception. Example of this is FDD, that is frequency division duplexing and time division duplexing. So, that is the example of full duplex. In that case, in full duplex you can transmit the information parallelly, means you can transmit at the same point of time and you can receive the information at same point of time. Now, next one is the frequency division duplexing, uses two radio channels, first one is forward channel, another is the reverse channel. So, first thing that we have to see is, in case of mobile communication, there are base stations which are required, which are installed at every location, and to this base station the signals are transmitted between the mobile phone and the base station. So, whenever the signal is transmitted from this base station to mobile, that is known as forward channel, and when the information is transmitted from mobile to base station, then that is known as reverse channel. So, time division duplexing shares a single radio channel in time. So, that is a base station, this is nothing, this is your base station and this is your mobile phone. So, the information which is transmitted from base station to mobile, this is known as forward channel, and when the information is transmitted from mobile phone to base station, then that is known as reverse channel. Channel is nothing, it is a medium, it is a wireless medium through which the information will going to travel. Now, next one is the paging system, the first example of this mobile radio system, paging system. So, what are pagers? Initially, when mobile phones are not in use, not much in use, then this pagers are used. These are very small devices which are used in offices, majorly it is used in offices to transfer a very brief message, to broadcast a very brief message, like let us say there is an example of message meeting at 10:45 am. So, this message will be transmitted using a pager. It has a limit of words that can be transmitted, and the procedure which is to be followed in this paging system is shown in this diagram, where you can see that this is a landline phone and landline phone from here, the subscriber or the transmitter which wants to transmit the information, which wants to broadcast the information, it will going to connect the call to this paging control center. Now, here a person manually will going to form the message, let us say it is meeting at 10:45 am, then it will going to broadcast the information at different locations, like this means here a pager will be there, here a pager will be there, and here also pager will be there. On these pager, a page will be messages. In case of paging system, messages known as page. So, a page will be shown over here that meeting at 10:45, meeting at 10:45. So, this is how the information, this is how the message will be formed, or you can transfer the message using this paging system. Now, the communication link that has been set up between this transmitter and these are the receivers can be wired or can be wireless. Now, you can see that there is a landline link has been there between these two. This is a satellite link that has been set up, means it is not connected, it is also a connectionless satellite link is there. So, from here the landline phone will be there, this is connected through this PSTN, that is public switched telephone network, which means that it is equivalent to mobile landline phone. So, from with the use of this one, the information will be transmitted and it will be received at different locations. So, that is what it is written over here, that conventional paging system sends brief messages to a subscriber. Subscriber means the receiver. So, modern paging system will use to transfer this news headlines, stock quotations or faxes. So, which means that the length of the message will be increased in the modern paging system. Then simultaneous broadcast paging messages from each base station. So, this is the introduction of how this paging system will work. Now, next one is the cordless telephone system. After the landline phones, this because in case of landline phone, the transmitter or receiver cannot move, they have to sit on near to the phones, because it is connected through a wire. Your handset and your receiver, that particular base station, that device is connected together. So, that is why the transmitter or receiver cannot move, but to avoid that condition, cordless telephone systems comes into the picture, which are also a full duplex communication system. First generation cordless phone are used in home. These are communication to dedicated base unit, then few tens of meters, means it will going to cover a very less distance, that is few tens of kilometer. Then second generation cordless phone is used for outdoor communication. It will combine with the paging system, few hundred of meters per station it is used to connect. So, this is the block diagram which is showing that how this cordless telephone system will work. Now, this is the PSTN, that is public switch telephone network. It is connected to a base station which is fixed in nature, it is fixed port, whether it is landline phone, whether it is your cordless phone, in both the cases it is fixed. Now, through this there is a receiver, this device is available at the transmitter side as well as the receiver side also. So, it is connected through this wireless link. So, this is the introduction of cordless telephone system. Now, this diagram is basically showing that how the communication or different steps, if I want to initiate a call, then what are the different steps that has to be followed, so that the call will be received without any interruption. Now, you can see wherever these two arrows are shown, which means it is bidirectional in nature, which means that it can transmit and it can receive at same point of time. So, this is public switch telephone network and this is gateway, this is the base of receiver. So, this is bidirectional in nature. Then a setup message will be sent. So, that is known as a setup message. This is known as setup acknowledged, means I have acknowledged that particular setup. So, whenever a request has whenever a request is raised that whether I want to transmit the information, I want to connect to a receiver, then acknowledgement is required in communication. Acknowledgement means that yes, I have received a particular request. It can be positive acknowledgement, it can be negative acknowledgement. Sometimes when I am transferring any frame, then acknowledgement will be there. In some situation, it may be possible that the whole frame is not received, it is interrupted, or it is there is loss of information will be there. So, that will be reflected as negative acknowledgement, means the transmitter has to resend that particular frame. So, that is the use of acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is a positive point in communication. Then alerting will be sent. So, this is unidirectional, then a connect setup SCU link. So, that message has been sent. Now, likewise here a ringtone will be heard by the receiver, then user will accept a call and connect acknowledgement will be there. So, after this point, after this 8th point, the connection will be set up between the transmitter and receiver, so that they can exchange the information. Now, next one is cellular telephone system. So, this is the main, you can say, the backbone of mobile communication. Cell, this is the backbone of mobile communication. Cell. What is a cell? The first question that comes into mind, what is a cell? When we are talking about mobile communication, every geographical area, let us say this area is divided, this particular area or hundreds of kilometers is divided into different cells. Different cells you can see over here, this is a pictorial representation, this is first cell, this is second cell, this is third cell. So, these are the cells which will going to divide this geographical area into small areas. At the center of every cell you can see that there is an antenna that is known as BTS, which is base transceiver station. Base transceiver means it can be, same antenna can be used as transmitter, same antenna can be used as a receiver. So, that is a base transceiver station which is generally installed at the center of every cell. It can be installed at the center, it can be installed at the edges also, that is center excited or edge excited. So, at every any point it depends on the type of antenna that you are using. Let us say I am using omnidirectional antenna. So, omnidirectional antenna, you know that it will going to radiate equally in every direction. So, there is no use to install that particular omnidirectional antenna at these edges. It has to be installed at the center of the cell, so that it can equally transmit the information in every direction. It will cover the edges also. When I am using directive antenna, which will going to radiate the energy in one direction, this is the radiation pattern of the directive antenna. This is the major lobe, this is the minor lobe, and these are the side lobes. So, you can see that the maximum energy is directed in only one direction. So, when you are installing the antenna at the edges, then you have to use directive antenna. So, that is why it is differed, whether I am using the center excited or I am using the edge excited cell. This is first thing. Secondly, what is the shape? What is the shape that you have to consider for a cell? So, every cell has a shape that is a hexagon, hexagonal in shape. Now, what is hexagon? Hexagon, you know, it is of polygon that is of that is having 6 faces. So, why I am not using sphere, why I am not using square or rectangle? Now, you can see that let us say this is a small area, I want to divide it into different cells. Now, if I am using square, sphere or circle, then when 4 circles are combined, then this area will not be covered under any base station or under any cell, which means that if any subscriber is residing over here, then it cannot get any connectivity of phone, it cannot get any connectivity of internet. So, to avoid that, we have to use hexagon shape. Now, why hexagon, why not rectangle or square? If I am dividing it into squares, now the area which can be covered by the square is small as compared to the area covered by the hexagon. That is the reason why I am not using square. Third point, why I am not using a rectangle, because rectangle, if I am considering the center of the rectangle, now all the 4 edges are covered equally, but when we are talking about this side, the sides, it will not covered at a equal distance. So, that is the reason that why I am not using square, rectangle and circle. We have to use this particular hexagon in shape. So, that is why the connectivity is maintained over here. Now, each of the base station is BTS is connected to MSC, that is mobile switching center, and it will be connected to this public switch telephone network. So, that is the basic idea of cellular telephone system. Now, these are the various common air interfaces which are used, like first one is the forward voice channel. Forward voice channel which means that it is used to transfer the voice signals. Forward means it is transferred from base station to the mobile phone. Next is reverse voice channel, it will going to transfer the information from your mobile phone to base station. Then it is again used to carry this speech signal, and this is used to carry the control signal. So, this is how the common air interface are used. Now, this table is showing the comparison between wireless communication system. Now, you can see over here that various services are offered by this wireless communication system, like TV remote control, garage door opener, paging system, cordless phone, cellular phone. So, these are all examples of wireless radio systems. Now, these are compared on the basis of this coverage range, then required infrastructure, then complexity, hardware cost, carrier frequency and functionality. So, this diagram is this table is showing the comparison between various wireless communication system. Now, this is showing the fundamentals of communication. When you are communicating, when you are exchanging information, then various parameters are required, like first you require information that you want to transmit, then you want to deliver it to the receiver side, then modulation is there, you want to travel, you want that particular signal to travel over a longer distance, then modulation is required. Then carrier is there, like the carrier frequency, transmitter is there, channel and receiver. So, these are some of the parameters of fundamentals of communication that you see over here. This is showing the types of channel, which I have told you earlier also: simplex channel, half duplex and full duplex. Now, in case of simplex channel, it is unidirectional in nature, means it will going to transmit the information from the transmitter to the receiver. Then this is a half duplex, which will going to transmit and receive, but not at the same point of time. And the main example or the important example of this half duplex is walkie talkie. Third one is full duplex, which will going to transmit and receive, but at the same point of time it is possible. So, that is the example of full duplex condition. Next, this is showing the noise addition in signal over the channel. So, this signal you have transmitted, and over the channel it can be, it depends on the distance also. With the increasing distance, it is more affected with noise. So, this noise will be added, and you can see over here that noise will going to affect the signal at these points. You cannot easily demodulate this signal. So, this is showing that how the noise will going to affect the quality of the signal over the distance. Now, this is showing the general model of the wireless communication. So, you can see over here that this is up to this point, this is a transmitter, this is a channel, and up to this point this is a receiver. So, when we are talking about this wireless communication, information source is there which will going to generate the information you want to transmit. Let us say I want to transmit a text message, I want to transmit an image, I want to transmit any audio or video. So, these information I want to transmit. So, this will be generated by this information source, which is generally analog in nature. Then that is encoded using this source encoder, then encryptor. What is encryptor? And at the receiver side, the reverse part of this is used, that is known as decryptor. This is strictly used for the purpose of security. From the security point of view, this encryptor and decryptor are used. Then channel encoder is required. Modulator, either you are using amplitude modulation, you are using FM modulation, any type of modulator you can use. Then RF up conversion is there, that is radio frequency up conversion, which will basically going to increase the frequency of the transmission, so that it can travel over a longer distance. Although the frequency is increased after modulator also, but it will be upgraded by RF up conversion also. Then this is a wireless channel that can be used. Then this is RF down conversion, and this is demodulator. At the receiver side, the channel decoder is there, decryptor, source decoder and information sink, that is nothing, it is the receiver part. So, this is all about the general model of wireless communication link. So, whatever type of modulator you are using, different type of encryptors are also available, this model will going to change, but the basic idea behind this wireless communication link will be same, which will going to use these blocks. So, this lecture is all about the introduction of mobile communication, where we have discussed about how the communication will be there, whether it is simplex, whether it is half duplex, full duplex, then introduction of various radio communication systems like we have discussed about cordless phone, then we have discussed about paging system. So, these are some of the topics that we have discussed in the introduction of mobile communication system. These are the references that you can consider for today's lecture. Thank you.